Welcome back to Olympus Critics. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a like for the algorithm that does help the channel grow. So episode 4, they return to Yabushi's village, which he has this big army. I enjoyed this episode. It definitely feels like a Game of Thrones type show, not without the magic and the White Walkers. This own version. I am enjoying every bit of this as they return back to his village. He has a big army, which we saw a little bit of in the first episode. His nephew, Omi, who we gonna get to, because Omi in the Hellcat, he on one. He's probably the bigger threat, in my opinion, than the uncle. The uncle, he doesn't seem too good at, strategy. Then his nephew. His nephew is very manipulative, and we saw that in this episode, how he planted some seeds and how he was able to finesse Toranaga's son, who is so, since we saw in the last episode, is so bent on trying to prove himself, and that may have backfired in this episode, which we got later in this episode. But we got to see Blackthorn. He got to get some couple of allies, especially with Fuji, if I'm pronouncing her name right. She is seen to came into a liking to him because in this episode, she wanted to be a nun, because we saw what happened to her husband and child after he outspoke at the council. And yeah, he seems like he's gotten her on his side, even though she was I guess sentenced to be his consort. He didn't want no part of that, but she began to respect him, especially when when she stood up for him, when she didn't have to, but she did. And he rewarded her for that. He gave her one of his guns, which was a touching moment. But before that, when they got there, he was trying to get on his ship. He was trying to, find his men. He finds out his men are in Edo. Who knows how many are still alive. And then you have the ship it's taken over by Toranaga. All that belongs to Toranaga. But we find out that Yarubishi, I'm butchering his name. Him and his nephew, his nephew played a big part in this suggestion that the cannons and the guns belong to him, why Toranaga is off doing something. So you already know the finesse game was on hard now. And you got Blackthorn. He doesn't really know how to do strategic stuff because, like he's been saying, he's only a pilot. But he was able to make a plan to show them how it's done to shoot cannons accurately. They never seen it happen before. They said the Portuguese were trying to show them, but it was never achieved. But he was able to get it done, and yeah, he really surprised them. And come to find out, it really came benefit to Toranaga's son and Omi. But before we got to that, we saw a little bit more of Miruko growing very fond of Blackthorn, teaching her people how to use the weapon and seeing how, kind he is. I think, she really started to feel him. And like Bontaro, her husband, was getting that little sense of, this man running a little game on my wife. I really don't think he's gone. We didn't see a body. We're probably gonna see a duel. I'm not like I said. I didn't read the book. I did not watch the miniseries that came out in the '80s. So they probably already know this before me. I don't know, but we may see him duel because Fuji gave him those swords of her father, which was a heartwarming moment, seeing them exchange, gifts. Him showing respect for her for standing up for him, and her, doing that, giving him his swords to honor her and her family. That was a nice moment, man. I enjoyed that moment. Miruko, she really appreciated him doing that because she really didn't want to live. She really doesn't have a purpose because of her husband and son are gone. She wanted to become a nun. But they said she has a duty to Toranaga and, to continue fighting. So that was nice to see that in this. But you also got Iroshido's men, Jozen, he comes. And Yabishi, he was in a rock and a hard place, man. He didn't know what to do. The planning is just not his style. It seems like his nephew is more of the planner and the strategist, because it was pretty much a done deal for him. It was over. They already wanted him to come back and swear his loyalty. Then he would have had to been, he was going to go under the knife for the wrong reasons. That would have been it for him. But the nephew, he used another finesse game on Toranaga's son. Toranaga's son, he was sensing it. He was so bent on proving himself. He finessed him, and you see what happened. You see what transpired. They got Jozen and his men, took them out with the cannons, used Blackthorn's teachings and tactics to their advantage, and now we got a war that's gonna happen. And you may see his son. I doubt Toranaga keeps his son alive after this. I would be shocked, or I don't know what's about to happen with the son, because I know Toranaga's not gonna like that he did this behind his back and to prove himself. And Omi is a snake in the grass. This sucker here, he is finding any avenues to rise into power more than his uncle, in my opinion. Yeah, it seems like he's doing it for his uncle. I think he's doing it for himself. They're calling him a kid. They treat him like a kid. He wants all the smoke. He wants all the smoke, and he's definitely doing it. Then you got the girl. She's whispering in his ear. That's telling you right now what he's trying to do. She pillow talking in his ear, giving him some good, clapping the cheeks. Oh yeah, you need to go ahead and do this. Get them on up out the way, for this can be your land, for this can be your village. And that's definitely what we saw in this episode. Omi and Blackthorn sees it too. Blackthorn sees it. He's calling them out. He's cussing them out. You even saw Miracle throw a little grin on her face. How he was roasting him. But Blackthorn sees it. He sees it because he's probably been around it a lot, but nobody else does. But post comments, let me know what you guys thoughts on this episode. If I missed anything, let me know. But that was the most stuff that I was paying attention to. Will we see Blackthorn reunite with his men? Probably will. Don't know how many still out there. But yeah, it's about to be all out war soon. We don't know what episode that's gonna be, but it's gonna be all out war. Post comments, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.